All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Cracking a cold one tonight. Whoa. Foam. Foam on the keyboard. Not cool. Not cool. That's yummy. All right. Impact Wrestling. I was not sure I was going to be able to do this tonight. I had to go with my family to a city hall council meeting for a neighbor who was trying to do something for his property. So we were there to support him because what he was trying to do was just improve his property, make it better. And city council wanted to deny it, so we were just there to support them, and we got it passed. So that actually took a very short amount of time and was back in plenty of time to catch up with Impact Wrestling and watch it in its entirety so I could be here. Crack a cold one. And tell City Hall to shove it up their candy ass. No, I behaved myself. I said my piece, said it nice. I know I don't always come across as the nicest guy. My wife has told me that many a time. Sometimes when I'm trying to explain something to someone, explain my point of view, I come across as quite an asshole. And it's never my intention. So I promised my family I would behave tonight when I went before the council. And I did. And everything went smooth. Only took like a half an hour total time, which was awesome. So here we go. Impact Wrestling. For the September, 13th. Thursday the 13th. Is that a thing? No, Friday. That's it. Friday the 13th. That's a thing. Whew. Dodge that one, hey? We are on the road to Bound for Glory, folks. And by the way, congrats, Impact Wrestling. Bound for Glory sold out. Sold out. I have no idea what the capacity is for the Melrose Ballroom. If you watch MLW, you get a clue of what the Melrose Ballroom looks like. I have no clue if it's going to be in that exact same setting or if it's going to be different. I really have no idea. But MLW does some tapings there as well. And it's an intimate setting. It's not huge, but it works. If the crowd is a good crowd, it certainly will come across as, you know, like the acoustics are good. Like if the crowd is alive, you're going to hear them, you know. And usually the crowd is pretty good for MLW shows. So I have absolutely no doubt this crowd will be good. I have not heard anything about the following evenings for tapings, but I'm sure they're going to sell well. As you know, the weeks leading up to Bound for Glory, which we've got next week. This was the last one from Rebel. The next 4 are going to be from Mexico, which I'm really curious to see how these are going to go. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed the tapings from the Rebel Complex. They've been filmed well. It's been a nice combination of wrestling, some comedy bits in the act. The interviews look like they went smooth and back. Everything about Impact just kind of flows lately. And I think that's so important. And that's one thing that I've talked about before that I've been critical of, is that the show flows. As goofy as that sounds, it does. You look at other shows and what they're doing, and I'm not going to even say who, but they're doing stuff that's just like, what in the world are they doing? I just don't get it, which is why I don't watch it on a regular basis anymore. I see the highlights on social media, and I'm like, they've got Spud with those guys now? I'm just, what are they doing? It's like desperation. It's crazy. So before I dive into this, just want to let you guys know that I'm very thirsty tonight. If you're new to the channel, there's plenty more of this where it came from. Go check it out in your spare time. If you dig the content, make sure you smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications. The chat is open, so if you want to discuss what's going on tonight, I've got it live right here on the screen with me. So follow along or chat it up and chat it up. That's like a new thing now I'm seeing now. Chat it up. J-Bone just tries to stay hip. You know, that's what the kids are saying now. It's so hard to follow. All right, let's get into this. So this group, Killer Kross, my wife is redecorating. Mrs. J-Bone is redecorating, and she's moving furniture. So if you hear anything, that's what it is. Just hope she doesn't hurt herself. Once she gets something in her head, she just has to do it. So she's probably going to move the entire basement around in the next hour. So who knows what I'm going to walk out into. Hell, I'll probably be stuck in here all night. So we got Austin Aries. Oh, yeah, it's going to be one of those nights again. Moose and Killer Kross coming out to some really fancy looking couches in the middle of the ring. They got their own little thing going on. Nice little party set. What did I read in the memo that it was Corinthian leather. Yeah, some really fancy stuff. Corinthian, I don't know. Look it up. Google. That's what I have you for. You go do that. I'm going to do this. Corinthian leather. Yellow. Anyways, so they come out to this set and they're chatting it up. And Cam and Falaba come out because they have been motivated, very motivated by one Scarlett Bordeaux, who even gives them more inspiration and possibly gave you inspiration to join me this evening, as I tweeted out right before we went live. Wink. So the fact that they came out looking for trouble, and then Aries settles him down, and he's like, you know what? Wait a minute. Just hold on. We started off on the wrong foot. You know what? He just hands him a championship shot at the Impact title. Unbelievable. And Falaba is just completely blown over by this. So much so that he had to like sit down on the couch and then got yelled at for sitting down on the couch because it was fancy. And KM throughout the whole show, I'll just cover a few of the different bits that they had throughout this because they were all just gold. I absolutely loved it. I like the fact that they're keeping these guys together. It's working. It's funny as hell, in my opinion. KM's a riot. When I first saw KM on Impact Wrestling, I was like, who is this guy? And I didn't like him. It wasn't clicking with me. It wasn't funny. Now, all of a sudden, within the last month, because they got rid of the rivalry, they kept them together. They've got the bit now where KM just talks to him like, I've said this before. It's like Han Solo and Chewie. Han Solo and Chewie. And Falaba just says bah to everything. Bah? It's like saying dude, bah. And it's hilarious. I love it. So they've gone all over the building looking for inspiration. KM's trying to let them know, hey, this is an incredible opportunity. We need to find like-minded people or former champions to the caretakers in the chat. Good evening to you. Smoke show. Bah. Yes, exactly. It's exactly what he was thinking. Bah. So he's trying to find former champions. That'll help him inspire him and let him know what he has to do. And he runs into, I think the only one he ran into was Eli Drake. Yeah, dummy. So there was no Eli Drake calling out anyone tonight. They skipped that tonight because he found a dummy backstage, a dummy that was looking for inspiration. And KM's like, give him some advice. And after about 5 minutes of going back and forth, Eli Drake looks at him and says, don't get a cup, get a bowl. Like he's got a lot to protect down there or whatever. And they're both just left dumbfounded. They go on later. They're looking for more inspiration. They run into the smoke show, like the caretaker said. Bah. And Scarlett Bordeaux, my goodness. My wife is sitting there watching this. Reaction is just priceless. She's like, how about wearing a top that actually fits? And I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't say a word. I just, taking notes. and she just has one word of advice for him, and that's bah. And the way she looks at him and the way he's just absolutely enamored with her, just completely smitten. And KM's just kind of like, bah. So yeah, that's why I tweeted earlier. I was like, find you a woman that looks you the way Scarlett Bordeaux looks at Falaba, because that snap picture was absolutely priceless. So that was enough to like get him all fired up, like, yeah, I can do this. Bah. Ow. Yeah, I know, not so hard. Especially when I'm live. Okay. Oh, it's cold. Wow, and wet. Demon Rocks is in the chat. Scarlett is Velvet Sky 2.0. Just don't put the title on her and it will all work out. You know what? Yandis is in the chat. I speak Ba. Well, Ba to you, sir. Good evening and Ba. Yeah, I do see bits of Velvet Sky in it, especially with the, the tushy shaking, the little sexy side of it. I think Scarlett Bordeaux is totally taking it to another level, like Attitude Era Sunny level, or that's actually like more like pre-Attitude Era. But that's was right when things started really kind of getting edgy. A little. It was what was that? Early to mid 90s? I forget. Excuse me. It was well before the Monday Night Wars, I think. It's all fuzzy to me. Anyways. But yeah, and you know what? They haven't featured her a lot in the ring. And I know people are probably still very skeptical as far as her character on TV. And I'm telling you, folks, just you speak Batu. All right. Father effing wrestling. We try to keep it PG here. A keyword try. He just took the class. Oh my God, you guys are a riot. Pierre, Pierre is in the chat. The chat is filling up. What is up? Don't forget to smash that like, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Load up the chat. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, if you're not sold on Scarlet Bordeaux before, I've said this before. If you're not sold on Scarlet Bordeaux, go look up some of her matches. Sincerely, go look up some of her matches. Your mind will be blown. It's like she's not just a pretty face. Trust me on this, guys. She has a ton of talent. And it's all character development. You know, you can't put everything boom on someone right away. It's kind of like what they're doing with Killer Cross. Killer Cross is this vicious, terrifying figure, you know, who's got all the things he needs. They're just not rushing it. And the fact that they put him with Austin Aries is honestly, in my opinion, a stroke of brilliance. And like I said, no one saw it coming. Impact is doing a lot more right than wrong. They are. Like I said, the show is flowing. There's, you know, a little bit of, I say this every week. So it's just facts. There's a little bit of comedy, a little bit of great wrestling, a little bit of storytelling. Just all these things together, you know, you get tag teams, you got the X division, you get the champ, the knockouts, it's everything together, meshed together every week. It's working, you know? And that's why the views aren't there, but the social media is blowing up and their YouTube is getting insane. And that's actually a plus, because if you think about it, if more people are curious and they're seeing the YouTube highlights, that's going to make them go watch the show. It's all a process. Trust me on this. J-Bone knows. It's a process. All right, so KM is inspired. The last segment before the main event is even there's a little thing in there that I keep referring to whenever I see it, and I think it's interesting. He's going down the hallway, he's getting slaps on the back, he's getting high fives. Bah, you can do this. And then the last thing he sees before exiting out to the ring is this, the two thumbs up going, you got this, you got this. You don't see the faces. It's management. And what's funny is, like I said, I know I've mentioned this before. If you watch the Being the Elite series, the Young Bucks on YouTube, they've been doing this character for the last few months, or characters that are off camera, and all you see is one hand here and one hand here. So one guy's talking and waving his hand around and shaking his finger. Another guy comes up, you know, shaking his finger. You don't see the people, you just see the hands and whoever they're talking to, like this. And the fact that they keep doing this, you gotta wonder. I don't want to throw a lot on this, but the fact that they've done it more than once, they did it with the Smoke Show and they did it again with Fallah Bahh. I know it's not the same people that are in the Being the Elite, because it's Scott D'Amore and someone else. I'm guessing Kevin Sullivan or something. I don't know. Excuse me. But whoever it is, it makes me wonder if somewhere down the road, because they're starting to, you know, they've been promoting the Jericho Cruise, this whole Impact versus ROH thing on the cruise. It makes me wonder if the Young Bucks are going to do a stint on Impact again and do like a set of tapings for a storyline, you know, interbrand stuff that's been happening. Lucha Underground with Impact happened around WrestleMania time of WrestleCon. they're doing the Ring of Honor, the Ring of Honor Impact Wrestling thing at the Jericho Cruise, and they've been promoting it every week now for like the last month, and we got another month to go. It's right after Bound for Glory. So that makes me think that if they're not going to do something in Mexico, they're very good at running promos alongside of what's happening during the tapings, like they did with Killer Cross. How they built up that character made you wonder, who is this guy? And then a month later, he appeared on the show backstage. No one knew about it until you watched the show. They're very good at that. There is no reason why they couldn't do that with Chris Jericho and or the Young Bucks. So, speculation. Pure speculation. I'm hoping it happens. I got to think that the Jericho thing is definite because they're talking about it all the damn time. And they wouldn't be talking about it all the time if it wasn't happening. So the question is, when is he going to show? Is it going to be Bound for Glory in New York and then like during the tapings? Or is it just going to be in promos and not really on the show? We got to wait and see, but I can't wait to find out. All right, so we talked about Fallah Bahh. I'll get to the main event in a little bit. Let's see here. Tag team action. Lucha Brothers. Wow, you guys are lighting up the chat. Welcome, everyone. Who else is here? Ray Roy. What is up? I am not going to Bound for Glory. I don't know who you're talking to. You're talking to the guys in the chat, or if you're talking to me. I am not going to Bound for Glory. I wish I was going to New York. That'd be a blast. I went to All In. That was about all the travel I have in me lately. That drive was hard enough on me. But oh man, I heard about people coming from California to Chi-Town. That's a hike. I mean, they flew, but still, that's a hike to come for an indie show, even if it was the biggest one. All right, back to Impact. Lucha Brothers versus Cult of Lee. Solid tag team match. I was a little afraid because the Cult of Lee has been featured a lot lately, but they haven't Rufus. Oh, that's funny. That'd be damn funny. That would be hilarious. If they're gonna do Rufus, they gotta do a 2.0 for Rufus. I don't think they bring in the original one. Although if they did, that'd be priceless. He could come out with Scarlett Bordeaux. They both can have the half shirt, you know, both be sexy as hell. Oh, you guys crack me up. Cult of Lee has been featured a lot lately, but it hasn't been real serious. So yeah, as much as I like those guys, and it's kind of like what they're doing with Eli Drake. He is a great character, and he's been used in more comedy spots lately. But hey, like I said, if people are upset about it, not everybody can be champ at the same time. So, you know, hey, and it's not a knock on these guys. Look at the run that the guys in Cult of Lee had, especially Trevor. Trevor's what, a 3-4 time X Division champ. I mean, he ran that division last year like crazy, several times, solidly too, between the crossover point between going from, you know, tapings in Florida to Canada or wherever. He's been tremendous. So the fact that, you know, a little less pressure on him, he's having a little more fun, but he's still having great matches with Caleb Conley. That's how I look at it. So if any of you are, you know, concerned or worried or upset about that, that's my thoughts on it. And certainly, you know, they're nothing to snuff at with the guys with the Lucha Brothers. They had a good match, but the Lucha Brothers came out on top. Then we get another video from OVE popping up on the screen where they're challenging the Lucha Brothers, and they tell them that the match is, well, they're saying that the match is on for Bound for Glory, and they're just waiting for Brian. I think that's how it went. They're just waiting for Brian to accept the challenge, and they said that it's going to be OVE rules. Now, what that means, I have no idea. I'm assuming they're going to have some kind of cage match or tables, ladders, chairs, or something crazy like that, or some term that TNA came up with in the past that it's not coming to my mind right now. Can't think of it. What the hell was that Abyss match with all the weapons? Monsters Ball, maybe something like that. Maybe that's what they'll call it, or something like that. Who knows? But nonetheless, Brian Cage later, after his match with Congo Kong. Oh my God, it's been one of those days, folks. After his match with Congo Kong, he says he accepts the challenge, so it's made official. At Bound for Glory, it's going to be OVE with Callahan against the Lucha Brothers and Brian Cage. No titles on the line. It's just three guys duking it out, which is fine. I kind of wish, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, wishing that Brian Cage took someone on for the X Division. But you know what? He's pretty much defeated everyone. So if you take the pressure off the title while he's holding it for just a little bit and he's still having kick-ass matches, I think it's okay. I'm not seeing a problem with that. And still, with almost every single match you see Brian Cage in, you're still seeing something new and fresh, as far as the guy's always pulling off something, especially in a match like this with Congo Kong, where both these guys were throwing each other around like it's no one's business. Congo Kong might be out of shape physically, but oh my God, he dove over the top rope. The OVP promo was hilarious. You know what? I almost forgot. I'll get to that in a second. Very good point, Pierre. Hope I said that right. That's how I've been saying it. Trevor did lose some. He did lose some hair. Oh my God. That move, whatever it was unbelievable. Wait for it. I'm kidding. I've been waiting to say that since I saw the hair in the ring. Congo Kong jumping over the top rope. A 400-pound guy diving over the top rope to splash on, or crossbody, is that what you call it? Crossbody on Brian Cage. Unbelievable. I said unbelievable, not the Trevor Lee joke with the hair. That was unbelievable. Try the pork. I'll be here all week. So yeah, solid match between Congo Kong and Brian Cage. Title not on the line, but just another. It's. I don't know. Some people are probably going to call it a filler match, but we actually got a chance to hear Brian Cage talk for the first time live afterwards. At least I think that was the first time live. I think that's what they said. But yeah, going back to the OVE promo, talking to the Lucha Brothers. Someone pointed it out last week. I completely passed right over it, or I forgot to talk about it. One of the two. Jay Christ, mimicking Sammy Callahan. Absolutely hilarious. Middle of the promo, all of a sudden stops, looks at him, and Jake is like, I'm not doing nothing over here. Just don't mind me. And even better, look at Dave in the background. Dave's in the background, like, just shaking his head, like, really? Looking at his brother like he can't believe he's doing it. So damn funny. Dave Christ dated Bonnie Rotten? Okay. I'm not sure who Bonnie Rotten is. Is that a cousin of Ian and Axel? It's got to be an Ohio thing. Anyways, we've got some matches set up for Bound for Glory. Lucha Brothers, Brian Cage versus OVE and Callahan. Awesome. I'm missing a bunch of stuff here. All right, let's continue. Talked about the Fall About thing. Then we get a throwback to flashback, GWN flashback, Bromans and Mr. Spectacular versus the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross, with Kevin Von Erich at ringside. I remember the first time I saw this 4 years ago, I was just like blown away by the Von Erichs. I was so excited that they were there. It was something fresh, someone new. It was a big name, especially with Kevin there. I watched it again now, and I was just not impressed at all. The Bromans pretty much carried that match. It was nice to have the Von Erichs there. Kevin got his spot at the end with the claw, but you see things differently years later when you look at it sometimes, and I was hoping that the Von Erichs were going to get signed at some point. You really haven't seen them around other than down south or somewhat internationally, I think. I just haven't seen them featured a lot, and I wish they would. You got to think over X amount of years they would improve enough to be like, hey, all right, Von Erichs, snatch them up, next generation. And just not seeing them. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with them. I try to follow them on social media, but I just don't see much. So that's one of those coulda, shoulda. I don't know. Don't know what else to say about it. So what do we got here? Oh, the next segment. Hilarious. Alicia actually getting a quick, can you say squash win over Catriana? That's how Grado said it. It was hilarious. He can't even say it right. He's not supposed to because he's Grado. Catriana. Katarina. So she's distracted by the whole shtick between oh, that's too much information. Thank you, Demon Rocks. Ooh, okay. You had me at alternative porn star. All right, that's enough. All right. The shtick between Joe Hendry and Grado. Joe Hendry doing the song as a reply, proper reply to Catriana. Oh my God. It's just too damn funny. I love Grado. I know Grado is not everyone's cup of tea, but tonight he came out in the tracksuit covered in koi. And it took me like a while to figure out. I'm like, okay, it's like a big goldfish. It's koi. Covered in koi. Is that a thing? They're big goldfish. I'd be a little scared. Just a little tiny goldfish, but he's covered in them. Maybe that makes him happy. I don't know. But the song that Joe Hendry puts up on the screen then, the big access denied song, that was just a riot. I love what they're doing with Joe Hendry. It's a nice little, I mean, he's very talented in the ring. We've seen it a little bit. It hasn't been featured a lot. It's been a little more comedic, but I'm sure down the line, we're going to see more of a serious side of Joe Hendry. But for now, it looks like he's having fun. And I think a lot of fans are enjoying it. And it's also showing, I'll say North American, and that's like Canadian and USA fans of Impact Wrestling or worldwide. I don't want to leave out anyone, what he's doing in the UK. Because I've seen a little bit of it on YouTube, but I haven't seen a lot of it. But he's been doing this for a long time, I guess. And the fact that he's bringing it to Impact Wrestling is priceless. It's just another bit of comedy along with he's really talented. So, take it for what it's worth. Let's not overthink this. Him and Grado together, hey, who knows what they'll do after Bound for Glory? Maybe they'll go for tag team gold. Who knows? I'm not sure who's all down in Mexico for the tapings. I've heard a couple names. What was one? Oh, Mackenzie Mitchell, backstage interviewer like Alicia's been covering the last couple months. Mackenzie's back. So Mackenzie is going to at least be back for the the Mexico City tapings. Dear God, I felt professional. I know. Folks, they need to find a burpless beer, seriously, because I like sipping some cold ones while I'm doing this with you guys, kick back, taking it easy, having some laughs. But the burps kill me sometimes, and I don't mean to be rude. It's just a thing, and I ask you to forgive me for the burps. He's so gassy. I know. Demon Rocks in the chat says that Taya is returning. Well, it's about damn time. I hope so. I can't wait for that. And I hope she joins Mundo. Yes, he's south of the border. You got to call him Mundo down there. I'll get back to the show for a minute. Something just popped in my head. On Impact Wrestling, Taya is booed. Okay? Johnny Impact is cheered. I always call him Mundo. Johnny Impact is cheered. He's a baby face. Down in AAA, to Mexican fans, they hate him. Last year, he had, if you don't know this, I'll give you just a quick 2-second history. Down in AAA, which is like Mexicans WWE, that's their biggest promotion down there for wrestling, he had all the belts for a while. He had the Cruiserweight belt. He had the Latin American belt, which is kind of like a middle cross line championship, kind of like Intercontinental. My wife loves saying that. Intercontinental. And then, of course, you got the Mega Championship, which is the championship. The World Championship, the big one. Mundo had them all, except for the tag team. He couldn't be a tag team. He's a person. Although, he always had Cross at his side. Got another brain fart. Anyways, so it's going to be very interesting at the next set of tapings how the fans are. Okay? Like we saw up in Canada. No, not Canada. Yeah, it was Canada. For the last special, the one night only. The, oh my God. The Destiny one. Bad Intentions. OVE got cheered when they wrestled Desi Hit Squad. Crazy, you know? Fans have been booing them like nuts lately. All of a sudden, at a Destiny show with Impact, they're cheered. Kind of funny. So, is that like the lesser of two evils kind of thing? I don't know. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle. Where was I going with this? I don't. Oh, just wondering what fans are gonna react next week, and well, the next 4 weeks are what's going to lead up to Bound for Glory in New York. So I can't wait to see it, because you never know how fans are going to react. And honestly, this is not meant as a racist thing, but AAA fans can be absolutely disgusting. Wrestlers get pounded with bags of piss down there. I don't even want to get into it. I'm like, if you're going down there for a show and you're a heel, oh, good luck. you walk away, you're not going to get a date for a month. Oh, you smell like piss. I just wrestled. It's a thing. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens down there. All right, back to the show. Damn. It's ADD, folks. Mine just... So yeah, great segment with Grado and Henry. Alicia gets a quick scoop up win with Catriona. And so I'm guessing that's the end of this story. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to continue south of the border or what, but this kind of felt like an end note to all that. So, and like I said, we don't know who's all going to be down in Mexico for the tapings. We'll have to wait and see. But this feels kind of like an end note. We'll see. Okay, Scarlett Bordeaux, Smoke Show. Okay, we talked about that. We get the update from Johnny Impact with Josh Matthews, the little interview, saying that he's banged up and that he'll be back for Bound for Glory. So I hope I hope that Johnny Impact is part of the tapings. You got to assume he is. He's in the main event, unless they change it. I don't know. And we've seen Johnny Impact and Austin Aries before. And that was like the real big change that we saw within the last year. The change of people, a new influx of talent from Lucha Underground and AAA into Impact Wrestling. And so far, over the last year, it's been golden. It's been awesome. So the fact that they're doing Johnny Impact again out of the blue, I'm a little surprised, but I like it because Johnny Impact is one of my favorites. He says he's banged up, but he will be back. So I hope he's part of the tapings. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to do my best to avoid spoilers over tonight and tomorrow. And well, across the weekend, I'm sure people are going to be talking about it and leaking stuff. And if I see anything, I'm not going to come on here and talk about it. I'm just going to take it for what it's worth. If I hear something, sometimes the company puts stuff out there. Like when Tessa won, we found out weeks in advance. They gave it to TMZ. It's no different like when something big at NXT happens. Tommaso Ciampa, Milwaukee's finest, or I should say one of Milwaukee's finest. Aries is the other. Became big news. Happened at the tapings. They put it out there because they know people are going to hear about it. That's one unfortunate thing about, big things happening at tapings, but it is what it is. I try not to overthink it. Some fans really get pissed. What are you going to do? Don't want to know. She's upset. Staying in here. You okay, babe? Yeah. Plenty of beer in the fridge if you need a beer, babe. She's good. Excuse me. We just try to have fun here. Keep it loose. Mrs. J-Bone in the next room. All right. Next, we get the Fraternity, a new tag team. These guys are part of, I believe, Destiny and or some other Canadian independent wrestling scenes. We saw one half of these guys. One half. We saw one half of these guys. Hand's not working. We saw one half of these guys at Bad Intentions. We saw Channing. Almost said Channing Trent. Dear God, I can read my writing. I can read my own writing. Honestly, I can. We saw Channing Decker at the show Bad Intentions. He wrestled. It's escaping me. I don't remember who. But they had a great match. And I said in my review of it, you can go check it out later if you've seen the show and you want to see my review. I want to see more Channing Decker on Impact Wrestling. I was really impressed. Caretaker. Hey, J-Bone. I was on 104.1 FM radio in Milwaukee. Oh, awesome. Thank you. 104.1. Interesting. Much love, man. That's awesome. Cool. Go check out this. This guy's been following me for a little bit now, and there's a lot of support there. Go check out Caretaker. Go to his YouTube channel. He runs classic, and I mean classic, not like a couple of years ago, classic on AMC. Real classic horror movies on his YouTube channel. So if that's your thing, go check it out. It's still on my to-do list. I've got like a whole bunch of them in my like watch later from your channel that I'm going to just watch like a bunch of them one day and go check them out. When I say I'm going to go do something and I say it on here, I make sure I eventually do it. I don't want to be like, oh, hey, I'm going to do it, but then I never do it. No, I'm going to do it. I just, you get stuck with stuff in your head. Like I watch just a ridiculous amount of wrestling and then I don't do anything else for a while. And I'll catch up on a bunch of Walking Dead shit. Same thing. Going to do it, Caretaker. You've been a solid supporter, so I want to give it back to you. Go check it out. Good stuff. Classic, scary stuff. Nothing like today. It's totally different. Oh, man. The Fraternity. Okay, back on this. Damn, it's a bad ADD night, folks. Sorry. Just having fun. LAX, Santana and Ortiz versus the Fraternity. Talked about Channing Decker. Channing Decker being able to be featured on Impact Wrestling. Incredible. And like I said in my review on Bad Intentions, having a guys like Channing Decker, and later on in that show was no, it's Milwaukee's best that causes ADD. It's just, cheap beer. There were a bunch of guys featured on that Bad Intentions show that had little matches here and there, like Dustin Quicksilver, Dustin Cameron, who was interviewed on Smash This Podcast. Go check it out. The one who had the match with Austin Aries, if it's not ringing a bell, along with some other guys who were featured on Impact Explosion on the sideshow. These guys all getting a chance to shine. If this is going to be mainly a Canadian-based show in the future where they're going to be doing a good chunk of their tapings, but now they're really, really branching out from Florida. They're doing Mexico. Next, they're going to, they'll do the tapings up in New York. Then they're going to the West Coast. They're going to do Sam's Town tapings, the same place where they're doing Ring Warriors. That's a decent-sized venue, folks. That's awesome. That's going to be in November. It's so good to see this company all over the place. But they're taking local talent that's decent. And, hey, the West Coast, that's where a few of these guys are from, especially like Phoenix, Pentagon, Cross, Killer Cross, straight out of Vegas. And they're featuring these guys, and they're getting a chance to shine, and these are the future of the show. When they lose guys like, and this isn't going to happen always. As the show grows, they're going to be able to keep talent locked down. And I mean that in a positive way. You want to keep guys like Brian Cage, Pentagon, Phoenix. I'm ignoring the rumors until it happens. I'm hoping they stay independent. We'll see what happens. I'm not believing the hype. When it happens, whatever. You go with the flow. If you lose guys like Pentagon and Phoenix and they go up north, elsewhere, or NXT, whatever, that's a chance for more guys, talented, to come into the show and hone their craft and all that kind of stuff. It's not a bad thing, folks. It sucks to see them go. Trust me. I've been watching Lucha Underground for 4 years and reviewing it on here. There is no one... There's a lot of fans, but there's no one more, I'll say it for this moment, like me that wants to see them stay independent and do AAA, CMLL, MLW, Impact Wrestling, go to the West Coast, go to the Canadas. The Canadas? All them Canadas up there, hey. Go to Europe, Japan maybe even. I want to see them everywhere, but it's not up to us, folks. As upsetting as it is, it's not up to us. You got to let them go where they want to go. Hopefully they listen to the fans. Hopefully. But a lot of people follow the money, and you can't blame them for that. But yeah, solid match between the Fraternity and LAX. Especially Channing Decker with that over-the-top rope spinning, and then gave a cutter to, I believe it was Ortiz. This was not a squash match, which was really nice. It gave a chance for Channing Decker and Trent Gibson to work as a tag team. And if the Canadian fans know who they are, that helped even more. I'm going to say, though, real quick before I continue this, and I know I'm going back and forth, so just bear with me, folks. I think the Impact fans, and this is no knock on the Canadian fans, okay? They have been incredible for this set of tapings. But every once in a while, you catch an episode where it feels like, okay, they need a break. They're at the end of the tapings. They've had enough. How many times have we seen that down in Florida after a set of tapings? You catch the last show, and you catch only a few fired up people in their crowd. The rest of them are just kind of like, oh, damn, it's bedtime. You know what? And hey, that's part of the tapings. That happens. I kind of felt that in this show, but I don't want to knock the Rebel Canadian fans. They have been incredible from Slammiversary or pre-Slammiversary all the way through the tapings now. They have been incredible. So cheers to you, Canadian fans. You have really brought a kick in the ass to the fan base of Impact Wrestling, because there is nothing worse than watching a show when the fans are sitting on their hands and the guys in the ring are absolutely destroying it, kicking ass. And the crowd is just dead. And that sucks. It's unfortunate. But it happens. It happens. So, slight off night for Impact Wrestling as far as the crowd, but I think it's going to be even more interesting to see what the Mexican fans do. So the OGs and the OGs and King coming out daring LAX and Conan to start a fight. No fight happened, which is it's actually kind of cool. Conan and LAX, he was holding the LAX guy's back, but then there was the little twist. King said something about, "Oh, I wish that kid bit the dust," or whatever he said about, the kid that got hit. Little Richie, is that his name? I don't know. He said something about, "Well, I hope he doesn't make it," or something, and that ticked off Conan. Conan turned around. LAX had to hold him back, but the brawl never ensued. So I like that. That's old school wrestling where, okay, let's see if they can keep the peace and not touch each other for a month, but you're going to see this guy taking a jab at this guy taking a jab at this guy. And down in Mexico, it's going to be even more interesting because Conan's got ties to people down there. And, hey, Homicide and Hernandez have ties all over the place. They are old school. So, I think this thing is going to get even bigger down in Mexico. We'll see. Just a guess. We'll see. So no fight there. Rich Swann trying to give a pep talk to Falaba, and then Matt Sydal saying, "How can you inspire him when you can't even get inspired to win yourself?" He says something. I'm paraphrasing here. But then Rich Swann says, "Oh, yeah, well, I'll take your ass down to Mexico and kick your ass down there." Says something like that. So it looks like these two are actually going to tangle down in Mexico. I don't see this going all the way to Bound for Glory. So maybe next week. We'll see. But I have absolutely no doubt that somewhere along the line over the next 4 weeks, we're going to see what ends up being maybe a qualifying thing for Bound for Glory to see who can get in a match to become the number one contender for the X Division, and a shot at the X Division Championship. Because you got to get a lot of people on the card. There's no doubt that they're going to build something down in Mexico to Bound for Glory, because I can't see them completely ignoring the X Division Championship. We'll see. I know it's not getting defended at Bound for Glory, but there's got to be an aftermath. You know what I mean? So let's see. Congo Kong fights Brian Cage. Brian Cage, I talked about this a little bit already. Brian Cage beats him with an F5. Think about that for a second while I crack the second beer. And no, I'm not doing it like Papa Cueto style like last night with a hammer. That was hard enough. I'm keeping it easy. Brian Cage, F5, a 400-pound guy. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The guy's unbelievable. He's one of my favorites. You guys are talking about wrestlers I have never even heard of. I'll read everything later, guys. Smiley Kylie? Sorry, I don't know. Anyways, next we got you guys crack me up. You never know what's gonna happen in the chat. I love you guys. Thank you all for being here, by the way, if I didn't say it. That's pretty much everything next to the main event. Main event, we get the Impact Championship up for grabs. Austin Aries defending against Fallah Bahh. Fallah Bahh getting all the pep talks throughout the show. Kylie Ray. That girl I've heard of. She's good. She's out of the UK, I think. Unless I'm thinking of someone else. So we get Fallah Bahh coming out with Cam. And of course, we get Austin Aries coming out with Killer Kross and Moose. Now, Killer Kross and Moose Money, excuse me. I wrote down Moose, $, $. To remind myself to call him Moose Money. I guess that's a thing. That's probably going to be his new shirt. Be like Moose, a moose covered in money, like money stuck to his antlers, maybe, or like a green moose. I'm probably really overthinking this, aren't I? Anyways, I was a little surprised that Killer Kross and Moose didn't do anything throughout the entire match right up until the end. Right up until the end. And they didn't touch anyone. I was impressed with that. They didn't just automatic interfere and cause the DQ, which I think a lot of people are assuming because they're just ruthless and they've been annihilating everyone. They just distracted KM at the end, and it happened all kind of quick, so he didn't really need the distraction. Austin Aries was playing possum, got up, took care of Fallah Bahh, put him in the last chancery, taps out. Decent match, though. I mean, a little bit of comedy. It's Fallah Bahh. You got to have a little bit of comedy. But I was impressed how much they oh, yeah. You're right, Demon Rocks. Kylie Ray and Kaylee Ray. Yeah, I got that confused. I was close, though. I was damn close. You knew what I was talking about. It was cool to see how much Fallah Bahh actually did in this. This was probably a shot that no one saw coming, but I know with the fan base growing, I mean, I've come to like Fallah Bahh and KM. I'm taking them. I mean, yeah, they're a comedy act, but they put it together in the ring. They're not like a comedy act that loses all the time. It's a little bit of 50-50, but the team is coming together. And the fact that they did this with Fallah Bahh says something. I think it's good writing. I'm sure some people are scratching their heads with it. And to be honest, when I saw him come out at the top of the episode, I was scratching my head a little too. I'll say that. But I trust this show. They've been doing great stuff lately. I love what Impact is doing. And I've been promoting it like crazy over the last year because it's something I believe in. The show is solid, and I can't wait to see the Mexican tapings on the road for Bound for Glory. Interesting. Trained by Booker T. I know a girl on Facebook that's getting trained by Booker T right now. He belongs to her school, and she's featured on, I can't think of what his show is called. Her name is AQA. Friends with her on Facebook. Long story short, she's a great up-and-coming girl. Go check her out sometime. So yeah, that's it for this one. Damn, this ran long. Solid episode. We are on the road to Bound for Glory. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. That's going to be pretty much it for the week because I've got Reality of Wrestling. Yes, thank you. Yeah. You're on it tonight, Demon. I can always depend on you guys. I've got my son this weekend, so I'm not going to be watching much. I did say I was going to be watching Ring Warriors. It's on Saturday mornings. I talked about that a little bit over this last week during other reviews. I will be reviewing that. I'm dying to check it out. It's an hour show on WGN Saturday mornings. It's got guys like Austin Aries, Jeff Cobb, a.k.a. Matanza, Lucha Underground, Martin the Moth Martinez, Martin Casals, Lucha Underground, Santana Garrett, incredible woman wrestler, Chris Bay out of California, West Coast, Luke Hawks, wrestling veteran. So many names. The show is absolutely loaded with talent. Sam's Town, Las Vegas tapings, in the casino. That's where the show is. And I can't wait to see it. It's really exciting. So just the fact that Milwaukee's finest, Austin Aries, is on the show, even more reason to watch it. I'm sure he's going to be their champ sooner than later. He's the belt collector. Why not? So I will be reviewing that probably later Sunday night-ish. Possibly Monday. We'll see how the weekend goes. Not going to promise nothing, but I am going to watch it and review it on here on Smash This Podcast. If you came in late and you want to see the whole show, this will be up later on rantwithant.com, where all my Impact Wrestling content is featured. Go check out rantwithant.com for all your podcast needs, along with wrestlingwithwrestling.com. Can't forget those guys. My Lucha Underground and MLW content goes on there, along with, oh my God, House of Hardcore, which has been little to none lately because of the changing format on their Twitch channel. But whenever Dreamer does put a show on, I do review it and put it on wrestlingwithwrestling.com. So, mouthful. All blown up. Kind of like Falaba in that match. I need a burrito. Maybe a chicken taco? Anyways, that's it for this one. We'll see you probably Sunday night, Monday night-ish for more reviews on here on Smash This Podcast. Don't forget, folks, there's plenty more of this. Where it came from. If you're new to the content, you want to go check it out, do so in your own time. Oh my God, I'm tired. I need to get out of here. We're getting out of here. Smash that like button. Smash that sub button. It's been a long day, folks. Good night. Have a good one. Peace.